going on, man? Charlie the Box. Check it out. Look at what I'm gonna have in my box today. It's gonna be some stuff that I don't quite understand. We're gonna start off with this place right here, Village of Hope. See, right here, this place right here, it's a stepping stone to help people get off the streets. Because where I'm at right here is a lot of homeless people that are down and out, and they just need a little bit of help. See, right here, this is a really good example of it. You give the people to opportunity to better themselves. You give them somewhere where they can sleep at. You give them a place where they can get off drugs and they can get back into the mainstream society. But see, there's a difference from helping someone or taking care of somebody. See, I'm going to show you right over here of taking care of somebody. See, this right here is helping somebody. When you just give them a helping hand so they could get back on their feet. But when you give people food stamps, you give them cash aid, and you give them food every day, and you give them a handout, you're actually not teaching them how to better themselves. You're actually enabling them to keep doing what they do with their lives. And see, that's the difference. Do you want to help someone or do you want to take care of someone? So check it out, look at. See, if you have two groups of people, and it's me in the center, and I'm the fisherman, and I'm going to go out there fishing every day, and I'm going to bring back food to help these people because they don't want to help themselves, so I'm helping them. But these guys right here want to go with me so they can learn how to fish for themselves because they don't want to depend on somebody or a government for their livelihood. So what happens to me when I die? These people know how to stand on their own, but these people depended on me for their livelihood and to feed themselves and for money and everything else. Well, these people are going to suffer, but these people are going to be able to stand on their own. So let's go with me, check this out, and you're going to see how stuff I just don't quite understand. Let's go. Just makes no sense. How would you feel that if one of your politicians that you've elected said that the Constitution is a bunch of negative liberties? What that means is that your freedom of speech, your freedom to bear arms, and those other constitutional amendments that you were granted by your Constitution, that you shouldn't have those things because they're negative, because government shouldn't allow you to do that. And the person that said that was Barack Hussein Obama, aka Barry Soetoro. So how much did you as an American educate yourself when you elected that man? Because I tell you the truth, I didn't. Okay, another thing that just doesn't quite make no sense. Last week I came to renew my license and I noticed there was a bunch of people that were here that couldn't even speak English getting ID cards or driver license. So when it was my turn, I walked up to the teller and I asked her, I said, how do you issue these people identification cards? She said, as long as they show a birth certificate or a social security number, I have to issue them it because it's against the law. If our government would just do a little bit of background check of when that birth certificate was issued and that social security number was issued, they would notice that it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. So anybody that's been here 20 years, 30 years, or 40 years should freaking know how to read, write, and speak English fluently. So anybody that's coming to them with a birth certificate or social security number and can't speak damn word of English or has a really bad accent means they stole somebody's identification. So I'm going to show you how they do it here and how they do it at our schools. So let's go to school next. Okay, see, we had the same problem with our schools. As long as they show a birth certificate, and it doesn't even be a United States birth certificate, any kid could get into our public school system. And I have no problem with educating kids because we need the youth to be educated. But at the same time, it's hurting the country financially. I'm sorry to point this point out, but you know what? It needs to be said. Another thing that made no sense to me is stuff that's right in front of your eyes or right above your head and you choose to ignore it. See, there's a difference between a chemtrail and a contrail. A contrail is something, it's the hot air exhaust coming out of the back of a plane, the jet engines, that makes steam, just like the one over your stove. But like the steam that's on your stove, it evaporates within a few seconds. But if you pay attention to the planes that are spraying stuff over the skies of America or any other country that's affiliated with the UN, because it's not happening all around the world, just countries that are affiliated with the UN, they're spraying chemicals in the air. And you're going to see right now, see those behind me? The smaller one was sprayed, I say 10 minutes ago. And the other ones, they've been there for like a half an hour or so. So I'm gonna do a time lapse to show you how long they stay in the atmosphere. And with time, and as long as they travel through the wind and the atmosphere up there, how they spread out and fan out and they make it look really ugly up in the sky. See, you could believe it or not, most people choose not to believe it. But see, there's guys that went and made a video about this. It says, what in the world are they spraying? So you don't believe me? Buy the movie yourself and check it out. So here's a time lapse of the stuff that's going on, and I'll let you know exactly how long this time lapse occurred. So check this out. Something I just don't quite understand is when people say, oh, well, they're not going to be able to do that. That's unconstitutional. But if you ask those people in New Orleans after that flood, when they went into their houses and they took their guns from them, ask them if it's unconstitutional that if they got their guns back. See, you have to understand, the people that hold power in this country, the people that you've elected, these career politicians especially, they don't go by your constitution. They're not listening to you. They're listening to the New World Order, and they're listening to the global corporations. So ask yourself, who are the ones going to uphold the Constitution? The people that are diminishing it or trying to break it apart, or the American people? I'm sorry to tell you, the only way that Constitution stays alive or even relevant in this country is if we the people take back the power structure of the United States of America. Okay, another thing I just don't quite understand. See, these surveillance cameras were brought up in high crime areas in the city of Fresno and in your town too, because I know they went up all across the country. But if you pay attention to your community, you'll notice that those cameras are being spread out all through the city. See, they told you they were there for your protection, but what they're building is a police state. And what that means is to watch over every aspect of your life, to make sure they know what you're doing at every freaking turn. So come with me, I'm gonna show you how those cameras stop prostitution in the city of Fresno. Okay, see, look at now, we're at freaking Mota Drive. Well, this city of Fresno has a real big problem with prostitutes for decades. I know firsthand because I grew up around the block. But see, they have the camera right there and we got the sign. Warning, premises may be under surveillance by camera. Suspicious activity may be recorded. But do you think that camera's pointing at me, or do you think it's pointing at them? No, that camera's pointed at me. Why? Because I'm the suspicious activity going on down this street. Even though there's drugs, prostitution, and pimps down here, that's not the problem, because if it was, it would be eradicated. So you need to understand, all those cameras there is to watch every aspect of your life and to control it. Just like your GPS on your phone, they track about everywhere you're going at all times. Every text that you send, every email that you send, and every freaking communication is kept in a database, and they're building a big file on each one of us. So you need to understand the stuff that are going on behind the scenes, because this has nothing to do with protecting Americans. I'm going to show you how this stopped the prostitution down this street, and let's get to the next thing I just don't quite understand. Okay, another thing that makes no sense to me, you got the Department of Homeland Security and Immigration Services right here. But how do they go hand in hand, or how are they freaking in the same freaking building? Because see, most of the people that are going through this store are here illegally because of the bureaucracy that our government puts in front of them to become citizens. So, it makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Both of them together? But let me show you where they're located at. That's what really trips me out. I need to pan this way. Okay, we're at downtown Fresno. The majority of name brand stores don't come down here anymore because nobody shops it. They're all uptown. This is downtown. So what kind of businesses open up shop down here? Some that cater to Latin America or Central America, people that speak Spanish. And because see, these people can't speak English, so they don't want to go to the same malls that we as Americans go to because they can't freaking talk the language. That's why our founding fathers said when people want to become citizens, we need to teach them the language so this type of stuff doesn't happen. So the majority of people that shop here, or some of them are illegal, how come the Department of Homeland Security ain't freaking making sure this shit isn't happening? See, it makes no sense. Just like this stuff that's called social justice nowadays. See, there's unions and organizations that are preaching that really big in America nowadays. And what they tell you is a way to get back at the establishment, at the government and the corporations. But all that actually is a way to get you faster track to a socialist society, which socialism has nothing to do with your freedom or getting back at the establishment. It's just to clamp down on the American people, to get us to a socialist society like other countries. Okay, another thing that most people talk about now too, as you hear, is communism or Marxism. If you look at both of those phrases, it has nothing to do with your freedom or getting back at the establishment. See, our form of government, a constitutional republic, was the best form of government ever devised for man's freedom. But you're never being taught that, or you're really never being educated to understand both of those movements or the social movement, because they want you to go in that direction. They don't want you to go in the direction of freedom. That's why our country is being run the way it is today. It's just prime example, immigration services and the Department of Homeland Security. How's that freaking make any sense, both of them in the same damn building as they are today and where they're located downtown Fresno? I got one more thing I want to show you. Let's go check it out. Another thing that just don't quite make no sense. The unemployment rate in the United States of America is going down, but Blockbuster in the city of Fresno is closing 10 more stores. Hundreds of people are going on unemployment. S.C. & Johnson's, the people that make those Ziploc baggies, they're closing their plant in the city of Fresno. That place was here in the city for decades, and hundreds of those people are going on unemployment. So we're coming out of the recession, unemployment's going down, but if you look at the things right in front of you, gas prices are going up and food's going up. Global unrest is happening all across this planet. So how does it make any damn sense that there's recession and there's problems all across the world, but those problems are never going to happen in America? Stop believing the mainstream media, because they're lying to you in every aspect. Stop believing these freaking politicians that you've elected that are actually freaking telling you the damn truth. Because if you search your heart and you freaking educate your mind, you're going to realize the games that are being played right in front of you, or you're going to always choose to ignore it. Like I told you guys, if you're not going to do everything in your power to destroy this country, you're going to do everything in your power to destroy it. CHARLIEINTHEBOX out. Okay, see me, another one I just... Another thing that makes no sense to me is that two-lane highway that I showed you guys on my other video, communism, socialism, the New World Order, that's in that direction. See, they put barricades, stop signs, barricades, do not enter. Signs that they don't want you to go in that direction of freedom and liberty and the way to get back at the establishment. Why do you think they diminished the Tea Party movement? Because through its constitution, we stomp out all this corruption that our politicians let into our country and get it to where we're at today. So if you're down with fighting back with the establishment, it is not through social justice or any kind of way that these people are trying to lead you in that direction. It's the way to get back at them, is this direction. Your freedom and liberties as you know it. And if you're down with that, let's go. Come on.